Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live. It is Thursday, the 6th of June. It's 1 o'clock. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is attracting the interest of Chelsea, according to stuff coming out of London today. Chelsea. Is this his agent trying to flex and get a bit of a better deal from Everton, or do you think there's genuine interest? See, I think he'd suit Chelsea for the simple reason that when I look at the likes of Nicholas Jackson, I just think he's a wide striker. You've obviously got Cole Palmer who drifts inside. Don't really have someone like Dom, I think. If they're looking for that man through the middle, he could, cut price, isn't he, really? Good age. What do you think? Think anything in it, or just nonsense?
Do we get Lukaku?
Could we? I don't know. Possibly. Why don't they just actually play Lukaku? Like, seriously? They own him. He's their player. He scores all sorts of goals. Why don't you just play him? You've got a new manager. Weird, but yeah, I mean, can we just swap him for Lukaku then if he's going to go?
Even if it was like a year on loan and they buy Dom.
Yeah. We just get double, we get Dom and Rom.
They get Dom, we get the money and we get him on loan.
What are they getting out of it?
Dom?
Yeah, no, but a reduced fee for Dom then. No. It's like, they're not going to give us Lukaku. I think when someone will give them money for Rom.
But no one wants to give any money to Rom,
No, on loan. They pay a loan fee.
They don't need it. But they get a centre forward out of it.
What they should do, instead of paying like 30 million for Rom, they should pay, Dom, I was like, they should pay like 27 and give us Rom for a year. That would suit everybody.
That's what I've just said.
No, but you were saying you want the money and you want Rom with nothing going the other way. That's sort of what you said. I mean, you'd bite their hand off for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Really. Romelu Lukaku, again, in an Everton shirt. Give him some chances.
Yeah, that
scores goals.
He'd love that.
Would he? Could he love a team that's aiming for 13?
He would love it. Well, he should play for Roma. What's the difference?
He was 5th or 6th.
Yeah, but the 5th or 6th in Italy is the equivalent of being 13th in England.
Is it?
Financially, yeah, it probably is.
Well, financially, probably, yeah.
That's what we should do. But I don't know. Are the interested? Would Chelsea fans really be happy with that? Would they see it as a step up? I bet you they wouldn't. I bet you they wouldn't see it as a step up.
No, but they've got a lot of good young players, haven't they? And he's a great age, isn't he? 27, English, powerful striker. I'm not talking, every game, but they're in Europe, aren't they? So
then, what would be the point?
Because they give them, it's options for them, isn't it?
But they've got options.
Have they?
No, but they need a top class
options through the middle.
They need a top class centre forward. Dom's not a top class centre forward. So wouldn't he just be again for Chelsea another nearly man rather than getting what they actually need, which is a top class striker?
I just don't know if they're going to go after. That's what I mean. I don't know if they're going to go after a top class striker. That's what I mean. If they are, if you're talking like, they're not going after Tony, are they? Because Spurs are looking at him. So there isn't even Tony. Ollie Watkins, are they going to go and try and buy Ollie Watkins? I don't know. They'd have to pay a few quid for him. Who else is there really in the Premier League who they could get? Isaac, they ain't paying the money for Isaac.
They might do.
I mean, they might. They do like to throw the money around, but again, I mean, possibly, because obviously he was heavily linked with Arsenal.
If they sell Conor Gallagher,
but Sesko.
Yeah, but if they sell Conor Gallagher, then they will have money to spend. So,
yeah,
why wouldn't you? I just don't.
No, I understand.
I just don't see the. I just don't see the point.
So who would you? Okay, fair comments. We'll come back to that because I understand what you're saying. If they're a team that finished in 6th and their aspirations is top 4, then go and buy your centre forward. That's going to put you there, Dom. If you get him right, yeah, it could be great, but doesn't score, loads of goals, does he? Or he hasn't over the last few years. So go and get someone like Isaac who'd be incredible. Whether he'd leave Newcastle for Chelsea, probably would if they offered him crazy money in London and all that, but you never know. But if not, like if it isn't Chelsea, then is it Newcastle or is it no one for them?
It's probably more likely Newcastle, isn't it? But again, it depends what happens with Isaac. I think if they get a really good bid for Isaac, then they wouldn't want to sell, and there's talk of a new contract, I think, with Isaac. But no European football. Not saying he's desperate to leave, but if someone offers him something, again,
London, innit, as well. They love the smoke, don't they?
They love it.
What's mad? What would be mad with that though? Then is because I'd use that same argument you just used about Chelsea with Newcastle, and if they're trying to create an upwardly mobile club, which is a club that's trying to get back into European football this season, I don't think they've got any chance of top four, but I think they've certainly got a good chance of getting into Europe. They were a Man United FA Cup win away from Europe, weren't they? Man City FA Cup win away from Europe. So they've certainly got players who could do it. If Isaac went, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin the striker they'd want?
Well, exactly, yeah.
I wouldn't if I was.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd want Sesko or Ollie Walker. Then again, you know what I mean. I'd want someone with a proven record, or I'd go to Europe.
I think the difficult part in this country is that there's the players who are the top strikers, or certainly last season were the top strikers. Apart from, I'm not including Ivan Toney because he didn't have a good season because half it was off the pitch and the other half didn't really do too much. Yeah. The only player who plays for a team in the mid-table range is Dominic Solanke. Like, factually wise, he's the only one.
And I'd probably go and buy him if I was Newcastle.
Again, you're basing it all on one season, and
they get 29.
No, I'm not dismissing what he did last season.
What I'm saying is his last two seasons. I'm sure he's
upwardly mobile.
49 goals.
Yeah, he had a really good season, and if you're looking for if you want a bargain,
he's 26.
If you want a bargain, you want someone in a decent price range. He'd be the one. Now he mightn't have the skill set that they want for the centre forward role. But from the looks of the manager they've just brought in, does Dom really have the skill set? I mean, if you look, they want.
Well, let's have a look at Solanke, right? So Premier League. So we'll just forget about Liverpool. I mean, he was involved in 21 games for Liverpool, but he was sub, weren't he? So when he went to Bournemouth, his first season he played 10 games in the Premier League, no goals. Second season he played 32 games in the Premier League and scored 3 goals. But he ended up with 4 in 36 in all competitions. Went into the Championship, got 15 in 45. The next season in the Championship, he got 30 in 48. Bournemouth got promoted, he got 7 in 35. And then last season, he got 21 in 42. Last season is a massive outlier. The other seasons in the Premier League, no goals, 3 goals, 6 goals. And then obviously 19 goals last season, 1 and 2 in the Prem.
How many games did he play last season?
Every game. He played every game last season. He played 33 games the season before. 46, played every game in the Championship. 40 games the season before. 32 games the season. So he's
that's what you're signing, aren't you?
You're signing someone who's dependable.
I'm not saying Dom isn't dependable. I'm not saying he hasn't come out of the other side of what he's done.
He played 30 odd games this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they'd want for Solanke. They'd probably want about 45 million for what's his contract? I mean, I think that dictates it, won't it? Really.
But you're right. He's one.
Well, he's Ollie Watkins. You're not getting Ollie Watkins out of Villa, and if you are, then you're paying a hell of a lot of money.
I think 70, 80 million.
Ivan Toney is 28,
and he's 20. Watkins is 27.
Yeah, and he's a they want a hell of a lot for him.
Solanke's got 3 years left.
Well, that could dictate it, wouldn't it? So we don't really have those mid-range strikers in the Premier League anymore. We don't have those players who are playing for. I mean, he was the top goal scorer for Wolves, Kuna, with about probably 11 or 12 goals, maybe. And
that was an outlier for him.
So you've got him, you've got Mateta, who had a great end of the season. I think he ended up getting 13, was he?
Yeah.
So he ended up having a great end of the season. I mean, every time I've watched him, I just look at his touch and think, not sure about him.
What was weird about him was he was good in Germany, and I looked. In fact, I might have done a video. Probably did do a video back in the day saying Everton could get him, and then I've seen him for Palace. I'm like, oh my god. He looks dreadful.
There's not many you look at in the Premier League and think they're ready to step up. Now, don't get me wrong.
Ollie Watkins just 29 in December.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly.
So,
Why? That's what you saw. Again, it's footy's in such a weird place at the moment.
He's got a great record, though.
No, he has almost.
Villa,
but his age is
got 70.
His age is prohibitive for bringing him in, isn't it?
Yeah.
But football's in such a weird place because there's not loads. There's that big sort of gap again between the players who are doing it and the next set of players. And there is loads of talk that there's all kinds of players just about to come through. There's the lad at Liverpool. Is it Kumas? Kumas' lad that they're talking, and there's another one. There's a lad at Arsenal.
There's Neil Dansdale, Liverpool.
I don't think. But there's like a proper cup buzz. But I think there's a proper buzz about like 2 Liverpool players. You got the lad at Arsenal. My God, he scored in He's got 8 in one game. That's something.
Oh, the young.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. So there's a genuine buzz about 2 or 3 who are coming through. But at the moment in the middle, there's like a real dearth of like centre forwards. I think anyway, certainly like English ones. So Dom, people will look at it and go, well, he's got one big contract in him. He's 1 year left on his contract, and he's the right age. In other words, he'd be a good almost filler. But then does PSR allow you to have a good filler anymore? That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you've got to get all your business absolutely right. Do you almost like... It's like with PSR now. It's like you're almost cashing in some of your chips for something you're not. Are you gonna make Dom your absolute number one striker? Chelsea. Are Chelsea really gonna make Dominic Calvert-Lewin their number one? Does he even fit in with their new coach? I'm not 100% sure on that, and I'm not like sitting here trying to like almost. Don't look at him. But I do look at that and think, I'm not sure about that. Whereas I think Newcastle, he is actually more of a natural fit.
He is for Newcastle.
I think he's much more of a natural fit to the way they play.
Even they're a bit like us. They love the number 9s. Powerful number 9, don't they? And he fits that, doesn't he? He fits that.
And you could see him playing up front with Isaac at times without any problem.
Play Isaac one
wide,
side
don't he?
And Gordon the other, wouldn't he? That'd be
so
front 3, wouldn't it? So
it's
What about Tammy Abraham? Available?
No.
10 million.
28? 26. At knee.
Goal records.
Only just come back at the knee, didn't he?
Yeah. Hasn't got a great record, actually. In the last... Since he left Chelsea, 30 and 82.
He was doing well, and then his knee went.
Well, he had a great season in 21-22, 17 and 37. Then he only got 8 and 38 the next season. In Serie A, and then he done his knee. He got 1 in 8 last year, so...
But I would definitely be looking, and I'm sure like Andy loves Dom Solanke, doesn't he? He loves him. He thinks he's loved him for a while, like. But I do think if I'm at Chelsea, I'm looking. He came from Chelsea originally, didn't he? Chelsea, Liverpool, Bournemouth. He's the one I'd be thinking, what could we get him out of Bournemouth for? Could we do a little bit of player trading with them? Rather than, but as I said, in old money.
Playing Everton on July the 3rd.
What's that?
Coventry have confirmed.
No, Everton put all the fixtures this morning.
Have they all know to see that? I just stay away from it.
Have you not put the fixtures on this morning, Ned?
You might have done.
Oh my God.
Anyway, go on.
Jesus
go back
Christ.
to Solanke.
Everton channel where I'm supposed to be.
Well, if you've seen them, you put them out.
Not my job.
It is your job.
Not my job.
It is your
not
job.
My job.
It is your. It's not his.
It is his job.
It isn't his job.
It is his job.
Behave. Get back to Calvert-Lewin anyway. Go ahead. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether his agent, and if I'm his agent, he should be doing this because he should be trying to strengthen his hand. But Everton, I imagine, if you're Everton and step back from like an emotional thing, if you're Everton and you're looking and you've got an up line right now where you can't go over it wages wise, what do you do? You've got a player who's got a year left. So he's asking, I don't know whether he is, but imagine he's saying, I want 120 grand or I want parity with Jordan Pickford to stay. And Everton might be like, we can't give you another 30, 40
you just have
grand.
to sell them, won't you?
I'm not saying he is doing that, by the way. I'm just saying players, because you might have said the other day, it's gonna be probably his last big contract, really, isn't it? 27. You wouldn't imagine that he will go somewhere else if he moves, and then go somewhere else beyond that and get an even bigger contract, because obviously his age is going against him. So I don't know whether that's right or wrong. Dom might be quite happy with it. I imagine no matter what, if you're him, you want a better contract, don't you?
Gosh, you
For
did.
yourself. So Everton have got to weigh that up. Everton might be looking and going, we've already identified Adebayo as his replacement, and we can get him for 10 million and he'll do the same and score the same amount of goals, but his wages are a third of Dom's, or his wages are half of what Dom would be on. So, and he's younger. So we'll take him rather than Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Well, if Everton have already offered him a contract, then
Can't really do much more, can
no,
he?
they can't. And they have to come to decisions quite quick on it, don't they?
Yeah. That's right, it's mad, and it'll be mad seeing him play for someone else, like just because he's never played for anyone else in the Premier League.
No,
You know, it's one of them, isn't it? Other ones, you've obviously, it's weird seeing them go, but Dom almost feels like he just come through our academy, even though he didn't. That's what it feels like, because he basically, we did give him his Premier League debut, didn't we? So, yeah, want to watch that one, obviously, but a lot of people, a lot of Evertonians, we've said this many times, don't seem bothered about him, but I think he'd be one of them players that if he does move on, people will realise like he was good for us and he was important for us. Do you know what I mean? I think he's definitely underappreciated.
I don't understand why so many people think he's an average player, because I honestly don't know what they watch. I really don't. I argue all day with people about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because I've seen some horrific strikers play for us in other teams, and Dom continually does the job, and when he's not scoring, he's offering something. I just don't get it personally.
It's not perfect, and he misses one-on-ones where you think he should score them, but he does so much well, and he's a handful. You see him in the Merseyside derby, you know, he was up against the greatest defender ever to breathe air, wasn't he?
Destroyed them.
And he destroyed them. So, you know, people might say, well, where's that level all the time? But players don't play at that level all the time, do they? And the ones that do play for the very, very best clubs, don't they? You know, Erling Haaland, I love him. He's fantastic. Probably the best striker in the world, maybe, after Harry Kane, or he's up there with Kane. But there's a lot of games you watch Haaland, and he has 4 or 5 touches and misses a few shit. That's just part of the course.
What I don't get is, I don't get where people think the replacements are, though. That's what I don't get about it.
Without gambling.
I just don't understand when people talk about, say, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and they go, get rid of him, he's rubbish. And I'm just like, well, where's his replacement? Where's his replacement?
You'd have to gamble on that person.
His replacement doesn't play for us right now.
No, God, no.
And you know, when you hear some of the names bandied about, it leaves me just gobsmacked. Like that lad from Blackburn. It's like, what?
He's a bloody midfielder.
Midfielder, he's had one season.
And he's Mike size.
And he's 29.
He's Mike size.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't get it. I really don't.
No. Colin says, I'll be very sad if Dom goes. He's been brilliant. Stephen Lee says, Dom is trending. Where are we here? I hope I'll be back to lead the line. Yeah. Ken says Ron's off to Saudi.
Probably, yeah.
Sophie, don't listen to anything.
What's that?
Being reported, we have to sell players. Jim Ratcliffe rubbing his hands. It hasn't been reported. Kevin Thelwell basically told the world that we would be selling players this summer, didn't he? But because you're choosing to sell players doesn't mean people get them cheap.
Yeah. Well, Sky are reporting, aren't they? Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, Everton, Forest and Leicester must sell players by the 30th of June to avoid PSR breaches. Well then, why are we all having a big fire sale then, are we?
Fair, isn't it? That's all I think. Everton might have to sell 4 a player for £4 million and that saves PS. You know what I mean? We don't know the figures, do we? So just wait and see. We will wait and see. Bosky says if we're doing swaps, what about Onana to Spurs and get Richie back?
We need money for Onana.
Yeah, we do need the money, yeah. BD says Sesko is the name making it around the Chelsea account. But Arsenal fully on board for him. I don't know. Everton Dave says 30 million for Dom isn't bad. But the replacement, that's the key, really.
Well, you're not getting someone for 30 million, are you? You're Everton. We did that last summer.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the whole thing is, like you just said, where did he go for that? Like, who is he? Who is the replacement?
There isn't one.
And there actually isn't.
There isn't one. There isn't one right now, is there? There is no replacement for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They'd have to. Well, I mean, there is one. There is one. He plays for Luton.
Yeah, but he's not.
No, I know, but I'm saying he's one that you'd look at and go, that would make sense if you could get him for a good deal. Because he looks a good player. Obviously, he's not in the Premier League now, but he looks a good player. He's got the physical attributes to do what Dom did, and he's very mobile. But who are you competing with for him? How many others are going to come in for him? And if they do, because there aren't that many other forwards out there, then Luton get an opportunity to create a bit of an auction. And can Everton afford to get involved in that auction?
It's who's going to go in for him now as well. Other people might want different. I don't know. It depends what the plan is, doesn't it? That's all it comes down to. Dodge, no, and I look more like Dominic Calvert-Lewin than that fella. I just had a look. I believe we'd have had Rom last season. We'd have won an extra 5 or 6 games. Says PUBG players. Steve P says Mateta got 16 goals and 5 assists. He's looked absolutely terrible at times for Crystal Palace, mate. Touch like a brick wall.
Well, he's saying he ain't signing for us, is he? So I don't think he's signing for. I don't think Chelsea would be looking at him either, just right now. Maybe if he had a good season, a full good season, then maybe people would look at him. But I don't think anyone's going to sign him based off what he did towards the end of the season. Because of the finances of the way clubs are now.
Yeah, it's all. You just never know, do you? You never know what their plan is as well. They might already, this all might already be sorted.
Yeah, isn't it?
Everton might just be he's going, or Don might be like, lads, I'm on holiday and I'll sign and come back. Yeah. It's just at the moment it's speculation, isn't it? Obviously, there'll be other players who are available, I guess. There's certainly players around Europe who are available, but it's gambling. And Everton probably right now don't want to gamble because, it's okay. What I mean by gambling is you're buying players on hoping that once you get the physical attributes right and the pace side of it right, they can come in and do your job. And some will, absolutely they will. The club, I think, has probably got to be in a slightly different place than where it is right now. Our biggest challenge is the ownership thing. It will be. Everton can go on and say it's business as usual and all that. Maybe it is to a certain extent, but it isn't really, because we know that the owner doesn't want to be here. So it isn't really business as usual. Yes, they open the doors at 9 o'clock and they might close them at 6 o'clock or whatever, but it isn't really business as usual. It's like that thing where if you've ever moved jobs and you're leaving, you're still going in every day, but your focus is totally different. You can't wait to get to your new job. You can't really be arsed with your other job. You get it if you're going on holiday the last couple of days. Your mind's not on you because you're thinking, I need to get that done, need to do. It's that thing. And once you shift the focus, and I think Everton's focus feels like it's been shifted for a good couple of years now, where they're just literally giving it that to keep their head above water. Whereas if we had a new owner, a new ownership group, whatever, and they laid out what they wanted to do, you can plan properly then, right? What are our aims? What are we trying to achieve? That's the biggest fight Everton are in right now. So we're going to have to just wait and see. If Everton, who knows, if Everton got I don't know, 35 million pound bidding for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, maybe they'd turn around and go, let's sell him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a 27-year-old who's had one season in the last 3 of actually playing. Might not. Might not. Maybe, you know, maybe they'd say no. But we just have to see. Sophie's still convinced Dom will stay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, I don't know. It depends how does he really feel like he loves Everton? I don't know. And I think that only comes from the fans, his relationship with the supporters. It's a weird one, Evertonians, because sometimes they're incredible fan base at times. But they'll idolise some players who you look at and go, why?
That's why I don't get the hate for Dom.
No, that's what I mean.
It's weird.
But then
I just
other
don't get
ones who deliver regularly, they treat them quite harshly, and it's like, how? Where's the balance here? Like, it's not like every. It's not like
people have made. It's like people have made. Seeing the comments there, it's like people have made the decision in their heads about a player, and that's the end of it. And that's the end of it with them.
Then others, you still see the odd person going, well, just give Maupay another chance. Like, what? Did you not watch him all season? You just didn't do it for. He's gone to Brentford and he's done all right. Good luck to the lad. His future's away from Everton Football Club. All the stuff he's done since. You know, we can put little things up at Sean Dyche.
We can put little things up and becoming a bloody UFC fighter, but it doesn't. It's not the player we saw play for Everton, was it? The player we saw for Brentford last season wasn't the player we saw. He looked like a scared little kid when he played for us. Yeah. He got involved in about 2 tussles. Brentford, it was like every game.
There was nothing
because he feels at home there that he can do that kind of thing. But with us, it was like he was a scared little child. Like suddenly he was playing for a big boy team and he couldn't do that kind of thing.
I just think if Evertonians would have loved Dom and had song for him and this, that and the other, and the relationship would be totally different.
Exactly.
But it isn't. I just think it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Scott wants Smith Rowe on loan. Yeah.
Be a good player, wouldn't he?
Be very good. Omari Hutchison would be a good move. He would, but they don't. Ipswich wanted to keep him on loan again, didn't he? I watched him quite a few times at the end of the season for Ipswich. He was very good, very bright. But Chelsea are saying they just want, if he's going to go, they only want to sell him because obviously they're up against it, aren't they? Well, they're going to fail PSR, which is why they're prepared to sell the captain and the lad who plays for England.
Yeah, pure profit.
Because it'll keep them out of a hole, which I think is utter. I just think I can't get my head around it.
Well, the difference is though they know that they can replace Conor Gallagher. That's the difference, isn't it? They know that a player like Conor Gallagher, actually, they've seen plenty of players play for Chelsea in the last 20 years who were much better than Conor Gallagher, and they believe that they can replace him, and they probably would. So they don't need that emotional attachment to him because it's just like, yeah, you're a good player and you're all right for us right now, but we can actually get better than you. I mean, he might have some better coming through the ranks for all we know, mightn't he? So,
well, where he plays, they've got Enzo Fernandez, who they played 105 million quid for. They've got Casado, they've got Lavia. There's just 3 straight off the bat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and they've probably got their eyes on others as well, haven't they?
Sorry, I've just seen a comment saying about the goal return in the last 3 years for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Are we forgetting that literally 2 of those seasons he was completely, like one of them completely injury-ridden,
played 18
and came back and scored the goal that saved us. And last season was basically the same as well. He played 3 games and then break down again, play 3 games, break down again. Is that what we're really doing? Are we really justifying you not liking him by going in the last 3 years? Come on. I wouldn't care who I didn't like as a player. You can't justify somebody by looking at them and going, well, there's his stats, when you know what happened to Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the last 3 years. Whether you like him or don't like him. In the last 3 years, up till, like, you know...
Well, he played 33 games last season, so, he got 39 appearances last season. He got 8 goals for Everton. Everton's top scorer, by the way. the year before, 18 games, he was involved in 2 goals, but we know he was decimated with injury. The year before, 18 games, 5 goals, but including that key goal against Crystal Palace. The season before, 21 goals in 39 games. The season before, 15 in 41. You know, and the year before, he was used more of a sub by Silva. He had 8 in 38. Yeah. That's the way it is, isn't it? Whether, you know, he's still on what? He's 1 in 4, isn't he? But that's because it has been decimated by injury. Everton don't create loads of chances. I'm not saying, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course they are, but I do think he gets a rough ride with Evertonians, with some Evertonians. I think he's more of a target man than he is a running striker. That's kind of what he is, and that's when you look around for centre forwards, they're all different. Each one of them is a different style of centre forward. Now I know the best ones can do a bit of everything. Yeah. That's where we are. We've got to look and go. I'm not saying everyone should change their mind, by the way, and go, oh, he's a mate, we love him. And everyone's got their own opinion. It's fine. And Scott, you're right. He did that. And if you've watched this channel, I said during those 5 months he should be dropped. And I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he was playing. He was getting played when he didn't. In my opinion, he shouldn't have been playing. The manager should have taken him out and just played Beto and then put Dom on for 20 minutes and shared it that way, right? Fine. And that someone put before, well, you can't not mention that, but then you'd mention Dyche not winning games. Absolutely. They both went hand in hand. Dyche wasn't good enough in those 4 months. He wasn't. It's unacceptable. No matter whether you love him and idolise him, 4 months without a win. No Everton manager should survive that if you've got standards. 5 months without a goal, you shouldn't be leading the line. You should be out the side to refresh and get back in. But they both finished the season brilliantly. Dyche finished the season brilliantly. Dominic Calvert-Lewin finished the season brilliantly. You're absolutely right. Can't ignore the chunk in the middle. And who knows where we'd have ended up if Dom had been banging them in the middle and Dyche would have been winning games in the middle. God, we could have ended up top half, couldn't we? So I'm certainly not skating over it, but both finished the season brilliantly. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, do we really create loads of chances? I used the same argument with Beto when people have a go at Beto. We don't create chances for these strikers. We just don't. Beto, say what you want about him. I look at my centre forwards more than and scrutinise them more than any other position, and I always have done, and I always will do. Where I played, I look and I back myself on decision making about centre forwards. Whether and that's just the way it is. That's what I do. Beto would score more goals in a team that created some chances for him. Just a fact. Now, is his touch tight enough when he's up in a 1? No. Can he improve? Of course, you can always improve. You can use his body better, absolutely. Dom, do we create enough chances for him? No. He should be getting 3 opportunities a game, and he doesn't. Some games he gets 1, and all right, he might miss it. It's the way it is. Centre forwards, you have those days, the top strike. Erling Haaland's put things over the bar from a yard out in big games. Still have him in my team every single day of the week and twice on a Sunday. That's the way it is. But we also have to look and go, if we are to sell Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right, and it might be out of our hands, who replaces him? Are you happy if Dom goes and we say Beto and Schmidt are the 2? All right, both of them might do a really good job. Who knows? But I don't think you would look and go, I'll hang me hat on, they will both get more than Dom. You know what I mean? So that's it. Now, Adebayo might come in and you might go, we give him the right service, he will score as many as Dom because he's powerful and he got 10 goals for Luton and blah-de-blah. Yeah, you may well do that. But he's still a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah, of course he is.
Because the year before, Luton fans were going, oh, not sure. Great for them, and then the goals seemed to dry up a bit. Even though he's still a handful and he knocks people about and he gets hold of it, he's a bit tired here in possession.
That's where we are, though. That's where we are, aren't we? We're gambling because all the proper, truly good ones are well out of our price range.
Longy, we haven't spent we've only been on for half an hour, so we haven't spent all afternoon saying there's no one better than him. There's no replacements. You've obviously never watched this before because because anyone who watched it, I'm all for going and getting. There's a lot. One of my favourite lines is, "It's a big world out there. There is players out there. Everton could dip into Europe and get someone who could come in and potentially be better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. For Everton should go and get Karim Konate. Bring him in. He's 20. He's powerful. He's not as tall as Dom, but he's powerful. He's quick, and he's showing a good pedigree for scoring goals. But he's a gamble. He's playing in Austria.
Yeah,
he's a gamble. Now it could ignite, and he's great, and all of a sudden you've got a player who Everton would probably have to pay 20 million for him. But if he does it right, you could sell him for 60 because he'd be a lad who gets goals. Kevin Denke, who Steve's mentioned a few times, just had a great season in Belgium. He's 23, he's powerful. You probably get him for around a similar fee. Go and take the gamble. Could come in at the ground running, bang. Goals, and then you go, what were we worried about? We've got a lad who's younger than Dom. He's a better finisher than Dom, whatever. They are out there. There's absolutely players out there. All we're saying is, well, certainly I'm not saying there's nobody better than him. What I'm saying is, there's no one who I could say will do exactly the same job as him for around the same price playing in England, maybe other than Adebayo. That's all I'm saying. I just think he's underrated by Evertonians. Doesn't mean I put him in. It doesn't mean I put him in and go, oh God, he should be playing for Manchester City. He's that good. Saying that, but I do feel like when you look at it, people go, he's not good, and I think he is. He's better than some people think. It's not just the goals. Goals are massively important. And if Everton had two wide players who actually scored goals, Dwight McNeil could put the ball in the net, it'd help. Jack Harrison only got 3. If he got 9 from a wide position, it would help, because then your centre forward wouldn't. Everything rests on Dom or Decore, which is why Everton don't score goals. That's the problem. I'm sure Everton have got an interest in Eddie Nketiah, but I don't know. No, the Blues, of course, Garassi would have, and Everton had him. Everton had him, didn't he? And for some reason, Kevin Thelwell went with Neil Maupay. Even though the fella wanted to come here, he's 6'4". I know Pet doesn't like this, but he didn't train for 3 days because he wanted to come to Everton. And he eventually went over to Germany, and he's, at one stage last season, he was the top scorer in Europe, banged all sorts of goals. He'd have been good for us because he's a powerful striker. Would he have got the same goals here? I don't know, but he was at least the kind of framework we're looking at. It's, that is the issue, but I don't think Ped's saying we can't get better than Dom. I don't think he's saying that.
What you've just said, though, is the nail on the head, though. The same with, we're linked with all these players. We don't sign them.
No.
So forgive me for being a little bit worried about the idea of just selling our top goal scorer and having to replace him, because we don't have a brilliant track record of going out and bringing these players in when there's an opportunity to do it. We always seem to make the wrong choice. And that's part of it, isn't it? Is that just that's why, as I said, the idea of just going, well, there's this player and that player, it's like, yeah, but you've got to get that player to play for us. You've got to attract that player to come and play for Everton in the situation we're in.
Graham's right.
It's not that easy.
The position we need to upgrade is Abdoulaye Doucouré. And I like Doucouré. I actually think he's better deeper. I really do. Because I think when you have someone in that second striker role, they've got to be just a bit more than someone who gambles in the box. They've got to be able to get hold of the ball for you. He doesn't take people on, does he? He doesn't hit shots in from 35 yards. He doesn't carve defences open. He's just a runner into the box, which is fine. But I still see him as more of a... I think his better games near the end of the season, he was deeper for us. There you go, yeah. Well, Boniface, if you watched this a year ago, I was banging the drum for Boniface a year ago. Everton could have got him, Everton, Gift Orban. I know he didn't have the greatest season, but he went for 12 million euros. In the end, Tottenham were linked with him at 30, and he went for 12 million euro. And now that's a player who can play wide, and I think if he comes right, he'll be 12 million, bloody hell. You know what I mean? I just see him on there and I wanted. Stay. Yeah, Toffee, he did go for 7 million, but I've seen a lot of him in the league, and he's been brilliant for Girona. He really has had a tremendous season. Is he good enough for the Premier League? Is he quick enough for the Premier League? He's had a brilliant season, don't get me wrong. But he would be a gamble, but then at 7 million, that shouldn't be a gamble, should it? 7 million. You know, there's a lot of players out there. Absolutely, there are. Absolutely. But the recruitment it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. You can't have a go at Ped for going. I'm a little bit worried about what our replacement would be if Dom went then, because Everton, let's be honest, historically, how good's Everton's record of replacing some of our better players? It's not great, is it?
Yeah.
You know, I can only really think Luca Dean. Yeah, he was a match for Leighton Baines.
Yeah.
Probably not in Baines' prime.
No.
But certainly towards the end of Baines, when we all loved Leighton Baines, Luca Dean was a match for him. He just fitted in brilliantly. There's not been too many Luca Deans. We've had good players. You know, we really have. But there's not, you know, who's replaced Rom? Seriously?
No,
Dom's had one really good season.
Because he's a world-class striker.
Yeah. So no one replaced Rom, which is fine. Who's replaced Ross Barkley then? Ross Barkley wasn't world-class. He was a very good footballer. Who's replaced Ross Barkley in all that time? You know, we had Wayne for a year and he was our top scorer and he had the vision. And if you'd have kept him for another year and played him behind a good striker, then again, we'd have been much better again. But, you know, we haven't really replaced Wayne Rooney for the vision and the goals if someone's sitting deeper. So that, you know, that's the history. Who's replaced Richarlison?
Nobody.
You know, we all love Richie. We absolutely loved him. The lad delivered double figures every season. We haven't replaced him. You know, our wide men don't score goals.
Apparently Dominic Solanke's got a release clause of £65 million, but can only be activated by certain clubs.
That'll be like Champions League clubs at the moment, probably.
They must have known we were talking about him.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? But what would, like, well, if someone offered 50 million, are we saying Bournemouth would just say no?
I don't know.
Especially if he wanted to go.
Like the Green Jill kids.
What, Samo? Just picking the phone up and going, no. I'm just saying no.
Just saying no.
Liam, you did beat Gary Ward's Hardy. Well done. Hello, Juan. Steve P says having Lukaku and wanting Calvert-Lewin is mad when you think about it, let's be honest. Why wouldn't he just give him a chance? They are a strange club. I mean, this is to say, we don't 100% know they want Dom, do we? We're just saying, you know, if that was a choice, why wouldn't you just give Romelu Lukaku another go? With Maresca and just go, I don't know, it's weird. It just seems weird to me, unless it's the money and they just want him gone off. I don't know. Liam says Dom is very good, but he's not Chelsea or Arsenal good. No chance we get 30 million, no chance. Kev says I'd do that deal all day. Dom to Chelsea and Ron back in the 9. Martin says if Dom doesn't sign a contract by the end of this month, we need to sell him. Don't really want this to happen, but if he doesn't want to be here, let him go. Yeah. I don't know, Steve, about Sinclair Armstrong. I honestly haven't seen enough of him, mate. I know there's a few frees, you know, Forson I'd be going for from United. He's just been at least 19-year-old. I'd be trying to get him in. Armstrong, 20's a good age, but I honestly couldn't sit here and pretend I've seen a lot of him, because I certainly haven't, mate. But that's James Alcott, and let him tell me what he thinks, obviously, but I don't know because I've just not seen enough. Stewie Haler would love Rombach. What better way to say Goodison than him banging him in at the street?
Yeah, be amazing.
Sadly, it's more likely we sell Dom and bring Che Adams in. He's going to Wolves, isn't he? Che Adams. Chelsea better off getting Garassi or keeping Rom and get Makoku as one for next season. Says James Warland. Ned's just having his lunch, is he? You know. Blue Keeley says the stuff you see people putting about his injuries does my head in. Fit all season and pretty much. And when he was always injured, wasn't helped by him being rushed back constantly.
Dom, yeah.
But he missed a few games with a face injury, with a cheekbone, didn't he? Martin says when your striker's not getting the chances, you want to worry. Gary said he's just a bit injury prone, but last season you can only go off the finals of the latest season, can't you? Peter says Dom would be a big loss. Doesn't score enough because of the way he's told to play. Drops deep in play builds from him. Mark says if we do have to sell Dom, which I hope we don't, please let's not be lazy and go for Breuer. Shea Adams incoming. Steve says if you had good recruitment, £30 million to get you a good replacement. Brentford have signed Igor Thiago. Yeah, who looks a really good player. Definitely has the attributes. He's only 22. But we all know we'd never go after someone like him. No. Mike says get rid of Dom, put me up front. Yeah, I'd do all right. I'd need someone to take the knocks, wouldn't I? Get me in the box, penalty box, yeah, but you know, big dogs like Ped, Mark and me, I'm got one of the headers there, am I? Stuart says start, bench, sell Dom, Kevin Campbell or Sahar.
Start, bench, sell.
Sell Sahar. I don't know what.
Injury prone.
Yeah, but I don't know why people used to go on about Louis Sahar. I never got it. He was all right. I never. You know, Blackpool was his greatest moment. No, he's a nice footballer.
Oh, it's good worldies.
Yeah, he's had a good left foot in him, but yeah. Star Kev when he was on it, when he was fully fit before his knee, and bench Dom. You might go 3 different ones, don't know.
So I think you might be being slightly harsh on Sahar, but his injury record was just, I mean, he was
injury prone.
One of those players who needed to be managed, and he wouldn't play if he was not fit.
No.
So that wasn't good either.
No, that was just me. A lot of people loved him. I think I lost Dingy for Louis Sahar because he replaced Yakubu and he should never have been. Yakubu was still better even with one leg. But he's, you know, Sahar 35 goals in 115 games for Everton. So if you doubled it for games and goals, you'd be similar to Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Remember he went on loan to Spurs?
Yeah.
That was weird. It was a free transfer to Spurs, wasn't it?
The most he ever got in a season for Everton was 15 in all competitions in 40 games. Fair play. Martin said, I think looking at them, he ended the Arsenal game, he looked like he played his last game for the club. Okay. Brian says Mateta reminds me of Beto in terms of technical ability. Here's open Beto can turn it around like he did. Roy says I can't understand how many Blues like Beto over Dom. I'd like him to stay, but if he decides to leave, good luck to him. Nathan says if you stuck some bombing creative scoring wingers in this team, we'd step up. Yeah, everyone seems to just excuse that, don't they? It is weird. It's weird. Like, I'm not having a go at Dwight McNeil, but he gets mad love for just running round and leaving his position. And I'm not even going to, because I thought Jack Harrison was a good loan signing, but he's got, the pair of them have got to score goals. Like Dwight's 7 the year before. That's got to be his norm, at least, at the very least. And yet people just let them off. Oh, well, it's not what they do. Well, they've got to do. It's modern football. Like having a goalie that looks great kicking the ball and can't save shots. Well, or your fullbacks, the great defenders. Yeah, but in modern football, they've also got to go forward and create chances. That's the way it is now. If you're going to progress, yeah, if people are happy being fourth bottom, sound. But if you want to progress, it's where it is. Maxter says, I can see where people are coming from selling Dom, but anyone who has faith in the Everton hierarchy to replace him needs their meds adjusting. Steve Kelly says, all right, lads, hope you both well. Is there a chance a takeover situation could be the reason for Dom holding off signing? Possibly. And he should be right to as well. Doesn't know where the club's going, but... No, Roy, I haven't heard any more on that at the moment. Mark says replacing Garner with Garner answers your question before.
Absolute classic Everton.
It'd be mad if we replaced Ron with Ron, wouldn't it? And we thought about replacing Ross with Ross.
The Premier League vote for VAR was 19-1
against Wolves.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? But Wolves will be like, Everyone's going to get
No, but
behind us.
they might get some changes out of it, though. Apparently, as part of the ongoing work to improve VAR, 6 key areas will be focused on as part of discussions with the club. Maintaining a high threshold for VAR intervention to deliver greater consistency and less interruptions for the flow of the game. Reducing delays in the game primarily through the introduction of semi-automated offside technology and maintained high threshold for VAR intervention. Improving fan experience through a reduction in delays in stadium announcements from referees after post-VAR change of decision where possible, and enhanced offering of big screen replays to include all VAR interventions. Working with the PGMOL on the implementation of more robust VAR training to improve consistency, including on an emphasis on speed of process while preserving accuracy, increasing transparency and communication around VAR, including expanded communications from the Premier League Match Centre and through broadcast programming such as Match Officials Mic'd Up, the delivery of a fan and stakeholder VAR communication campaign which will seek to further clarify VAR's role in the game to participants and supporters.
Yeah. Fair play. Well, I mean, at worst, Wolves will have forced some changes, won't they, by doing it? So, yeah, a few people telling us they've voted to keep VAR. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Robert says, "Aye, lads, great show. Keep up the brilliant work you do. Thank you very much." Gallagher says, "There's a reason Baz doesn't trust the recruitment team." He's spot on. Everton's recruitment has been shocking for years. A few people are saying McNeil as a winger is a joke, says Paul TV, and I think the Blues says Dwight should be a wing back. He's not quick enough to be a wide man. I think at times he'd be better off the striker as well. But I don't know. I think so. I think there's got to be different ways. Let's have a final look on Premier. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, everybody who has done so already. Much appreciated. So we'll be live on More Than a Game in 6 minutes. We will have a little bit more of a discussion about VAR on that one and some other things. So the link will be here. You don't have to go anywhere. Just get yourself a drink. Let's see you all over there, and hit the subscribe button when you get over there. It's massively appreciated. Let's grow that channel as well and get better guests and keep all that going. Thank you, everybody who's joined us. We will see you in a bit.
See ya.